Okay, folks, I am sitting here with Dan Doherty, and I just wanted to, Dan Doherty there. And Dan, how old were you when you enlisted?
Well, I was in high school, and I took the A-12 test and passed, and they said join the inactive reserve. So my senior year in high school, I was in the reserve, and I graduated on June 6th, and on June 15th I got my notice to be active, and June 23rd I was inducted.
So you were inducted after D-Day. After D-Day. So
no, after the war started, but be long before D-Day.
Oh, okay. What year?
43.
43. Oh, wow. So now you're in the Army.
Yeah.
And D-Day happens. How do you hear about D-Day?
Well, I'm in Kansas with Fort Camp Phillips with the 44th Division. So I heard about it just like everybody else in the United States heard about it.
Yeah. So, did you have any friends that were in the units that hit the beach?
Not that I knew of, no. But I had all kinds of friends from high school, but I didn't know what had happened to them because I'd gone off to the Army very quickly and lost contact with them.
And what was your first, you got over to Europe D-Day after, about 3 months after D-Day, right?
Yeah, we landed in about the middle of September at Cherbourg, just right around the corner here.
Right.
And we bivouacked in Normandy for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we took a train and we started fighting at Lunéville, which is east of Paris.
Oh.
We relieved the 79th Division, and they struggled back in 1s and 2s and 3s, dragging their gear, really disorganized, unorganized, and our officers were very unhappy that they were our role model for. They'd been fighting almost straight from D-Day. They deserved to be relieved.
Oh, this is awesome. Look at all these guys right here. You guys look amazing.
Hi.
Hoorah.
How you doing?
Doing great. You look great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What are they?
Reenactors.
Oh.
So what was it like, your first action? What was your first action like?
Well, we relieved the 79th Division and took over their foxholes. And the second night, the Germans brought up a loudspeaker and said, we had done this all in great secrecy. And they said, greetings, men of the 44th Division. And they told us the name of the ship we'd come over, where we had landed, and said, why don't you come over and have hot chow with us? You're over there eating K-rations.
And what did you guys say back?
Well, it was kind of disheartening because everything had been so hush-hush, secretive about what had happened.
Yeah.
And the first night they tell us everything that had happened to us up to that point. And then we were pretty much in foxholes stationary until November 15th or 13th, November 13th, and then we made a big attack.
What was it
It's
like?
in the Vosges Mountains of Alsace.
What was it like the first time to have bullets coming at you?
Well, it was not so much bullets as it was artillery. We got shelled a lot.
So what was that like?
Well, we were in a foxhole, so it had to be a pretty direct hit if anything happened to you, but no, we didn't care for it.
Yeah. Years later, did loud noises ever get you kind of startled? And
No. I've lost my hearing.
yeah, what? Huh? Oh. Well, how long when did you get out of the Army?
I got out and discharged November 10th, 1945.
Wow.
I was out early.
Yeah, you almost got sucked into going over to Japan.
Well, we were on our way coming back to the States, and they were going to give us a 30-day furlough and then send us to the Pacific. But we were in Reims, France, and they dropped the bomb.
I bet you were happy about that.
Well, we were happy, but we said, here we go back to Germany, because they'd taken everybody with more than 75 points out of the division.
Right.
Because we were going to go to the Pacific. And so we were scared they'd send us back, but we were so far along in the process, they sent us home.
Yeah.
And gave us a 45-day furlough. Came back to Camp McCoy, Wisconsin. And while I was there, the order came out, anybody with more than 45 points is to be discharged immediately.
And how'd they figure out the point system?
Well, you got 1 point for every month in the Army.
Right.
You got 1 point for every month overseas. You got 5 points for a wounded. You got 5 points for each campaign you were in. There were various things, and I had 58 points. But the guys back doing guard duty in Germany had 110 or 115.
Oh, man.
And I was out of the Army in November with 58 points, and they were those guys were still doing guard duty. Well, I got to go to college in February '46.
Oh, wow. God. What was that like transitioning back to
I liked it.
Yeah. What was the first thing you craved for when you got home?
A milkshake.
A milkshake? Yeah.
It was kind of a disappointment, but I loved milkshakes, and so I had a thing. Yeah.
Did you slip your 45 in your sea bag and bring it home with you?
I didn't have a 45.
Oh, you had the BAR, right?
Well, you didn't ask me about what happened in January of '45.
What happened?
The 45th Division had 6 rifle companies captured intact.
What?
Yeah, in the 3rd week of January. And to reform them, they brought in hundreds of privates from the replacement depot.
Right.
They brought in brand new platoon leaders from Fort Benning. And to provide some experience, they transferred 180 sergeants from other divisions of the 7th Army to those 6 companies, 30 sergeants in each company.
Wow.
And I was a PFC, and Leonard Poppich was a PFC on January 25th. And the runner comes and says, "Doherty, report to company headquarters with all your gear."
Right.
And I got down there and I said, "Pinky, what's up?" He said, "I don't know." And the first sergeant came out and says, "Dan, you're a staff sergeant. Pinky, you're a staff sergeant. You're going to the 45th Division. Good luck." And we were out of there.
Yeah.
I never even had a chance to go back and say goodbye to guys I'd been with for 10 months.
Right.
And I ended up, I was a squad leader in one of these companies being reformed.
Wow.
And we trained 1 week and went back to fighting.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What was your favorite weapon to carry? You were a BAR man.
Yeah.
So did you like the BAR?
Well, it weighed 22 pounds.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
Lugging that thing around sucked. Oops, sorry. So what was your favorite weapon that you got to use?
Well, I only used 2. BAR, and then in the 45th Division, I carried a Thompson submachine gun.
Oh, now that's nice.
Well, it was awful dumb because I didn't know anything about it. I actually went on patrol one night with it, and we almost had a lot of action. And then next day, I was cleaning it and discovered that the thing was in upside down. It wouldn't even work.
Oh no! Oh my God!
It was dumb to carry it. I finally figured that out, but it took me a while.
Oh my God, that's a great story.
Yeah. And then we hit the Siegfried line on March 18th.
Uh huh.
And we had 36 casualties in our company that day.
Oof.
I was one of them. I got hit in the slight injury in the foot.
Okay.
So I was gone 2 weeks, and we came back, and we'd gone into the Siegfried line at full strength, which in the platoon was 40 guys.
Right.
When I came back, I made the count 13.
Jeez.
And then we very quickly did Nuremberg, Dachau, and Munich,
Right.
and ended the war in Munich.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just
We
amazing.
liberated the Dachau concentration camp one day, and that was a gruesome experience.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
depicted in Band of Brothers.
Huh?
That was depicted in Band of Brothers, liberating a concentration camp.
Oh, okay.
How horrible. I've been to Dachau. I
Yeah.
went to Dachau when I was in Munich.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a horrible deal.
Well, they invited me back last year
Oh, really?
for the 78th, and 10 of our family went back. And he didn't get to go, so he came and get to go on this trip.
Oh, Philip. Oh, that's awesome.
His
Wow.
brother and sister went on the other trip, and some grandchildren.
Well, how do you feel about coming back on this trip? How does that make you?
Well,
You have any?
I'm pleased to come back because the October through March, really, that I spent in France was the most miserable time of my life.
Yeah.
And so I'm delighted to be back under these circumstances.
Yeah. Oh, anything you want to say to all the youth in America?
No. Stay young.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to end this. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate it. And thank you for joining Tall Tales with Taco Bell. Thank you.
Okay.